Cincinnati fans, your Cincinnati Reds have made a splash at the deadline, bringing in some much-needed help on the defensive side of the ball with BRYAN from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the 28-year-old third baseman who still has multiple years of team control left. BRYAN is known for his glove first, but has shown flashes on the offensive side of the ball. What do I think in breaking down his role on this Reds team moving forward? All here next on Reds Access. Cincinnati fans, this is Reds Access, here for your every week podcast for Cincinnati Reds, covering news, games, and more. This week, talking about BRYAN and some initial reactions. I'm mixed. Cincinnati fans, so we traded BRYAN for BRYAN. We got rid of Taylor Rogers and Sammy Stfura, who is ranked in the Reds system as far as prospects go. Let's just jump right into it here, pulling up the old baseball reference. BRYAN, not the best hitter, okay? Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. BRYAN, 236 average, 569 OPS this year. Last year, limited playing time, also had a tough year. But this is a guy who was thought of as a top prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And in 2023, put it together in a full year's playing time, 15 home runs, had an OPS of 762. And you can see here, actually put together a pretty good offensive season. Average velocity, hard hit rate, squared up rate. Overall, really solid year. And has always been among the league's best in fielding. This year, having 15 outs above average in a truncated 110 games so far season is a huge upgrade for the Cincinnati Reds. Many of you guys know we lost yesterday to the Dodgers on two misplayed balls by our third baseman, Noelvi Marte. Both times could have gotten us out of the inning. Of course, what you're looking at here is he is first percentile in the MLB in batting run value, and that's up to a lot of different things. You can see bat speed slow, batting average is low, average exit velocity is low, walk rate's almost non-existent, and he's averaging strikeouts. So there are some issues, but overall, we needed a third baseman. We knew that. I would have rather have gotten a guy like Suarez. But getting a guy like BRYAN isn't a bad thing. I think this is a value add to the Cincinnati Reds. I think it shows that we are willing to go out and pay a guy because, as you guys might know, BRYAN is actually under team control for many more years, getting a little bit over $7 million for the next 4 years under Reds control. It's a club option in 2030, and then it's year 34 in 2031 as well. So the Reds have a great idea here as far as really sticking to their, I guess you could say, MO of bringing in guys with years of team control left. You guys know the Reds don't like bringing in rental players. The only one I can think of would be like Scott Rowland. We made that run back in 2010. We gave up 2 players for BRYAN. That'd be Sammy Stfura and Taylor Rogers. So Sammy was not nationally ranked. I believe he was ranked in the Reds system. He was probably our 4th highest rated middle infield prospect. And you'll remember there are really only 5 levels of minor league baseball now between the A ball, low A, double A, triple A, and then, of course, rookie ball. Stafura's had a mixed time with professional baseball. He strikes out a lot. Obviously, in 2024, struck out over 100 times. You can see here, struck out almost 100 times already this year in A ball with Daytona. He has power, 18 doubles. I think he has over 30 extra base hits already this season. But real swing and miss issues. Really fast guy, but I don't see that playing in the major league level. And that was a guy that we talked about last week, was a guy we could target to trade. So overall, I don't mind getting rid of Stafura. If I was looking at all of the Reds' middle infield prospects, he is probably the easiest to digest getting rid of, and there probably wasn't a place for him on the major league roster anytime soon. Of course, he's only 20, but I mean anytime soon. We got rid of another guy, though, for BRYAN. And that would be Taylor Rogers. So Taylor Rogers was signed to a 3-year, $33 million deal, $11 million a year. And I bring that up because basically Rogers and Stafura actually ended up taking, you'll see here, basically washing the contract away of BRYAN. So for the Reds, this was actually a wash, which is amazing because the Reds don't like adding money. Now, I know we gave some of that risk of contract up to the Giants with Rogers, but I believe the Reds still had about $7 million of that contract. I have to look and see specifically I would suppose. But I believe it was around $7 million. I guess we can go to overview here and take a look. He's not even going to be on the. Yeah, if you go to the Pirates, anyways, I think we had about $7 million tied with Rogers. And with that in mind, it was an even trade. Rogers actually has really good numbers on the peripheral this year, which was a 2.2, 2.45 ERA. Looks great over 40 games. But as you guys may know, he was one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball when it came to holding runners on. And you'll see here percentile, just overall terrible. Terrible rates going all over the place. Extension was, poor on his part. His fastball wasn't great. His offspeed was good, but it didn't get people out that he needed to get out. And you see here, chase rate was bad. Walk rate was terrible. Barrel rate, his balls were getting barreled up at 10% of the time. Reds fans, I don't need to say anything else. You guys know that we've not had a good experience with Taylor Rogers this year, and really our experience has been very similar to the experience that the Giants had with him last year. So let's look at the trade and let's look at both parts. From the first part, you have BRYAN HAYES, who is a defensive first third baseman, who is an elite defender and an abysmal offensive player. The Reds needed offensive help, and I hope they're not done at the deadline, because if they are, we didn't do enough. You question where that means guys like Marte goes. Well, Marte goes to right field. Okay. And so then you say, well, Lux goes to DH then probably, and you put, Benson in left. Okay, fine. But you want to get another bat. So who do they go get? Do you get an outfielder? Or maybe. Do you get an infielder? Maybe. We'll find out. This gives us the best defensive infield and potentially the entirety of the National League right now. McLean at second, Steer at first. Both are Gold Glove caliber players. Elliot de la Cruz has been great as of late in the field, and overall, he does make a lot of errors, but he also saves a lot of runs. He's a good shortstop. Third base being BRYAN HAYES, that is the best infield in potentially baseball, but definitely the National League. Turn to the outfield, though, there are questions. Marte has actually played fairly well in the outfield since he got out there. I like Benson out there. I like Fraley, but both Friedel and Lux have absolute noodle arms. What I'm getting at is that the Reds need to continue to get better in the outfield this trade deadline, and I hope they make a move to do that. They need to do that. On the flip side, what did we give up? We gave up a guy that was no longer eating innings for our team, that was only going out there in times when we didn't need to get outs. And we gave up a guy that was a low-level prospect. I know MLB Trade Calculator, is it, on Twitter, I think. They came back and said, oh, this is a severe overpay by Cincinnati. Rogers is a positive value, Stafura is a prospect, and BRYAN HAYES is worth negative $8 million. BRYAN HAYES is an average of 4 WAR across each season. He's played Major League Baseball. He played all 162. That's not a negative player, and that just shows how much a glove is worth in the MLB today. BRYAN HAYES is an upgrade. We no longer have to play Santiago Espinal every day at third base. BRYAN HAYES can hit both sides of the ball when he's hitting. He is a Santiago Espinal plus, and I don't have any issue putting him out there. We just need to get better. Overall, I think this trade was a win for the Reds. I think the Reds gave up a guy that they want to hit against, if I were them, and they gave up a guy that wasn't ever going to see the major leagues for the Reds. There's too many guys in the minor leagues. Edwin Arroyo in AA still. Sal Stewart in AAA. There's no place for Sammy Stfura in the infield. And so with that said, I think the Reds could have easily thought, well, we can give him up because what are we losing? And the answer is nothing. You're not losing anything. So the Reds gave up 2 guys that are totally irrelevant to the Reds' success in the long term. Rogers is 34 himself, and got a 28-year-old third baseman, one of the best gloves in the game, under team control for 7 years. I hope the Reds aren't done, because if they are, they failed this trade deadline. BRYAN HAYES is a good player, but he's not going to move the needle. We saw yesterday there's a lot of holes in this lineup that we need to address still. I hope they go and do it. But Reds fans, from at least this Red fan's point of view, I'd say this is a win. I'd say this is an absolute win in the trade deadline, and I hope we keep adding more to get a solid bat to counter him. But if we can put BRYAN HAYES in the field every day, we're not going to see errors costing us games like they've done the last few days. And I hope this team continues to get better. Obviously, we didn't need to go out and sweep the Dodgers. We don't need to sweat by them either. This is a positive move. Hope the Reds keep rolling and we stay in the race into September for the minor league action, or for the wild card, I mean. So again, overall, good trade in my opinion. We need to go out and do more. Feel free to subscribe, of course, for any future content. I want to do a first reaction here for the trade, but future content going to our Reds news, games, and more. Working on Elliot de la Cruz video right now. I want to get out. But super excited, guys, to keep making this content. And thank you guys, of course, for 100 subscribers as well. We just crossed that threshold with our most recent video. So rounding third and headed for home, as always, go Reds.